Dad. It's a special camera, is it? It's way on. Yes. Okay. Okay, so it's a camera. So it's 3S this month.
Dogs. We have those? Yeah. I have filmed absolutely nothing today.
What?
I filmed nothing today. Well, this morning I did on my way home. The sun was coming up, but now it's going down again. I'm running on about 2.5 hours of sleep. This is now, we're going into FS seed. I wanted to get as much of the 101 day out because this is the last pallet, right? This is 97 day. This is the last pallet. It's 97 day. So we're moving out of the 101 and down to the last variety, which is 97 day. I could have planted out a little bit more. These are really running very evenly. The centers will always run more even as long as the pickup fingers are doing their job. Ooh, that one got a little bit light. That one is a little bit light. There and there. So, and of course the end ones for some reason on this corn planter do run a little slower than the center ones. But I'm going to finish this field. This is a 7-acre field, and then there's another, I think that's 5 over there. I got this one and that one, and then I got one more that I want to get done tonight. Oh, did you hear his dick? Yeah, I heard his dick. But, yeah, I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to head home because I've got about 45 minutes of daylight left. Yeah, I know this is the 97. It better be the 97 because if I screwed up, then it would be because I started out with 107 and I'm ending with 97. So I guess I should probably help good old tomato paste out over here and, do the job, right? You got 12, right? This seed is a little bit smaller. I really dislike rounds. I like flats. For some reason, I ended up with rounds. So I use this, I think I've talked about this before. This is the Flotegic G. It is made with graphite. Shake it up a little bit. Turns to like a liquid powder. It gets all over your ass. It's graphite. I never really looked up what graphite was or is, but I know several people have informed me that it is a type of carbon. I'm okay with that. Probably wear a mask while doing that. But I just held my breath while I did that, so. Breath of fresh air. Oh yeah, that's good shit. Anyway, it's a fertilizer type stuff. And all it does is it lubricates the seed for better singularization. And it's 2 nitrogen, 12 phosphate, and 0 potassium. Which concerns me a little bit. I like the Flotegic talc, the original stuff that I had. That actually had a little bit of potash or potassium with it. But I'm not getting that with this. So it's just gonna be a different story, that's all. The planter is working great, by the way. I have to go slow because of the grass. Thick shit up in Flemington, right? It actually cut it. Oh yeah, it does. It cuts it. Oh, it cuts it. I was planting at about 2 inches. I wanted to be 2 1/4, but I got my measuring stick out and I actually dropped it down another 1/4 inch to 2 to 2 1/4 because it was only about 1 3/4. I saw a few that were shallower, but they weren't shallower than 1.5 inches. They were about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So on average, they were 1 3/4. Somebody asked me what these closing wheels were. These are the Furrow Cruisers. They work really good for this. The row cleaners are Martins. When grass is dry, they don't plug at all. They don't wrap or anything at all. But when the grass is wet, that's a little different story. I had them wrapped up pretty tight last night, but yeah, no, that damn thing's working really good. And I will attribute the success of a lot of this is to these. Now, I just set this down. I haven't cut anything yet, but these seed firmers, they get down in there and press those seeds right to the bottom of the trench. I'm pretty happy with those. I wish they had a wheel for these. I think a firming wheel would probably be a little bit better than what the Keaton seed firmer is, but 'tis what it is. And knock on wood, I've done over 500 acres. I've got to have over 500 acres. Yeah, I'm over 500 acres, and we're getting down to it. Technically, I've got 100 and let's see. I got 60, which is 120, and then half again is another 30. So 150 acres to go yet, which will put me in that 600. I got around 500 acres in, so I'll have about 650 acres of corn. 650 acres of corn. You know what that's going to be? That's going to be a lot of combining. I'm going to have to buy you a hopper trailer. Hopper trailer or a dump trailer. A hopper trailer would be easier. No, just a hopper trailer. Just drains out the bottom. You pull into Triple M out there and dump your load and get your ass out of there. You run him 3 loads a day. I run 3 loads a day on the rainy days. We get 6 loads a day in there. Yeah, that'd be all right. Because we're gonna have to be on the soybeans. Soybeans are leaving the farm. I'm not storing any of them. But the corn, and of course I'm counting my chickens before they're hatched, but yeah, we're gonna have a $5 million year. Right, Tim? Yeah, $5 million year. It'll only cost us $4,999,000 to produce it. And that's a true statement right there. I watch a lot of guys that's got all the best of the best of the best of the best, and they're like, yep, we're gonna make more money than ever. and then their equipment bill and their fertilizer bill and all the other bills show up, and it's like, wait a minute, what happened? You know, kind of a thing. And yeah, I'm a victim of it too. You know, you want to push your ground to the limit, you know, push it, and you push it so hard that you're trying to buy a yield that is almost unobtainable. And when you realize what you're doing, hopefully it's not too late. You know, there's a lot of people that don't realize until the bank is like, hey, your note's due and we need that money now. And there's a lot of guys that fell victim to that years ago. I'm not gonna believe the resident. I'm gonna believe Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a pretty good gauge. Richest man in the world is a pretty good gauge as to how much what's going on. You know, I mean, he didn't get rich by doing dumb stuff, but yeah. Anyway, whatever. That's it. That's all, folks. I'm gonna hang it up, and I'm probably just gonna plant until I'm done. Right? Now I'm gonna plant until I'm done for tonight. I got this 1, 2, 3 fields I want to do tonight, and then I'm gonna call it quits. And then tomorrow I start all over again. But I'm gonna get a good night's rest because I'm tired from yesterday's 24-hour run. I didn't plant for 24 hours. I planted probably 18 of those 24 hours was spent dragging that thing, and I'm dragging it quite slowly, and there's a reason for that, because I'm going through the sod. On a normal like conventional tillage, I'd be rolling at about 6 miles an hour. And hey, come on there, buddy. At 6 miles an hour, you can really get a lot done. I want to be at about 4.5. When you put seed in, you add. I just added. All right, so me and William are back to planting corn again. So I figure. I don't figure much, but I'm figuring here. I want to talk about this field a little bit, because this field is a little bit weird. This field, and I'm gonna get turned around. This field is right on Route 12 here, across from the liquor store, Kingwood Liquor, which I haven't been in there in years. I don't drink. Theresa will go in there if I need like rum. She'll get rum. I like rum and Coke once in a while, and I mean once in a while, maybe once every month or 2 or 3 months, I'll have a rum and Coke just because. At the end of planting, I'll probably have a rum and Coke, but I've got rum from like 10 years ago that I can use. Anyways, but this ground beneath our feet, as you can see, the corn planter is dancing pretty good, and I'm just crawling at about 3.3 miles per hour. There's a reason for that. I'm on a plateau here. It's not a natural plateau, it is a man-made plateau. There was, at one point, the property owners were going to, I believe, build another building in this field, and they never did. Not that they wouldn't or weren't going to, they just never did. I don't know why, but it's for sale now, and it's been for sale for a long time. I imagine it's industrial use, so they actually had it sold once for a lumber yard, and I think lumber or steel. Anyway, the way that they would have to build it, it didn't give them much room for steel. But right here beneath us is asphalt. You heard me, asphalt. This was all asphalt millings that was piled up in here. And they leveled it out with a bulldozer. And then they dumped a little bit of dirt on top of it. And I mean just a little bit of dirt on top of it when they realized that they were going to have to farm it. And they asked me to farm it, and I was like, well, I don't think anything's going to grow in that upper part. And they're like, well, would you do it? And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. So I plowed it. They put lime on it. I plowed it. but I didn't plow this part of it. I only plowed up there. And this part, I let it go, and the property owner was like, hey, look, I'm gonna send my little brother out there, and I'm gonna have him plow that up, and would you plant it then? I was like, yeah, if you use your plow. I mean, I ain't into plowing asphalt, recycled asphalt, millings as we call them here. He's like, no, we'll do it. Well, they had plowed it, or they had spread it out thin enough that you wouldn't even know that there was asphalt after they plowed it, because they plowed that asphalt down, and some dirt, maybe 3 inches, I mean, they plowed deep, but some dirt, maybe 3 inches, came up onto the top of it. And I planted it with corn. The first year I planted corn in here, and it didn't look so good. It was kind of dry. And then I planted soybeans, and the soybeans, for some dumbass reason, did really good on it. And then I did corn, and then I turned it into this hay field. And honestly, you can't even tell where that asphalt millings is. And I did grow corn on it several times, and honestly, we did really good. So with all that tar, naphtha, whatever they put into asphalt, it does break down in the soil. It's not 100% pollutant, and you can grow good crops on it, as weird as that may sound. So yeah, and I've been farming this for probably, I want to say, a solid 20-25 years. 20 or 25 years, a solid 20-25 years. And it just doesn't seem to make a damn bit of difference. Now, it did have a wet spot out in it, and in that wet spot, I just couldn't deal with it. So I told them, I said, hey, look, I got a really bad wet spot out there. I got to make a big circle around it. So they came out with a dozer, and they cut a swale into it. And yeah, that drained the whole damn thing. So to me, it works good. Once I get out past, I think I'm about past the asphalt now. There's rocks out here because of the fill that they put in over this end. But yeah, and that's their building. But I will plant right down through that swale. It's not a ditch, it's just a swale. I don't think it ever washed out. I'll just have to, there's water laying in it. Maybe I won't. Nah, I'm not gonna plant into that. Maybe I will, who knows. All depends, whatever. Timothy fertilized it, so why not? Right? Let's see, come on. I used that lull one time. That's what they used to help me out when I put the, watch this. When I put the new auger up on the bin. And what do we say, Will? Dive, dive, dive. 50-year-old corn planter. It will not plant in that ditch because it's putting all of its weight out on the ends, which is probably not good for my wheel bearings and the row units, but we'll see what comes of it. It don't matter to me, honestly. It's good. Yeah, these old planters, they can take a licking and keep on ticking, right, Will? Right. All right, so now I know that I'm off the plateau and all the asphalt and the rocks and stuff are gone. I'm just gonna speed her up to about 4.7 miles an hour where I should be. And we are going to get that corn in 2 to 2¼ inches deep, and life will be good. Last time I was here and did anything, those bees got real nasty. They do. So I'm just going to set you all up there and you can keep your eye on them. Keep your eye on those bees. Actually, you can watch what I'm doing. So every time I do this, this is a Curtiman front fold system. Curtiman, I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't think the business is still going anymore. I'm not sure. You're not supposed to have to put a bolt in here. I don't think. You may have to, I don't know, but I built that piece right there with the sleeves so that I could bolt it good and solid. And bolting it up good and solid is always a good thing, because if you don't, they kind of work and wear on your hinges, and then you get some kind of cobbled up mess like this. Now, I didn't do this. Oh, I hate spiders. I hate ugly spiders too. Oh, I hate spiders. Anyway, yeah, so I built that part, and I think I showed when I did it. It's not convenient in small fields, but I don't have any problems that some people do have with these things. I also put a guide pin on the underside so that when it does fold open, the guide pin holds it. Now, this tractor is having some hydraulic issues. They're not bad. They're just the CVs, or selective control valves, SCVs. They need to be rebuilt, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. The other thing that I did, which is dumb, and I'm just going to walk through this. You guys are probably wondering how I'm going to punch through this stuff. Oh, give me a second here. It's going to be noisy. So, yeah, throw that. It drifts. They drift. This corn planter, solid unit. It's a solid unit. They were rigid. I was looking to see if I could get like a, I don't know. I should just not. But I lost this piece. This piece right here. I have to build a new one and make a new one for that, because I lost it. So what I have to do to get this job done, and it doesn't take but a couple of minutes, but it's not exactly, you know, convenient by any means. So you just take this chain, and I had a small piece of chain that I was using. And the problem with the small piece of chain was that it was too light a duty, and I snapped it. And all that does is blocks those up. So now I'm rigid again, and I can start to plant. This is reed canary grass. Yeah, it'll slice right through this stuff. So a lot of people get concerned about me planting through this, but when you look at that bicep. Anyway, when you plant, it pushes that grass in one direction. So it's not crossing, so it doesn't have to cut through it the hard way. It just folds it forward and goes along the sides of it. The row cleaners actually scoot the grass to the sides. So all I have is an exposed soil, and the row cleaners don't touch the ground. I don't have them touching the ground at all. What the row cleaners are there to do is really simple. They're just there to move that hay to the right or the left. They are they're Martin row cleaners. I was going to take them off because they are jamming up. They're wrapped up because I got into some heavy dew and some rain, and that water, whatever it does, rain, dew, water, whatever you want to call it, when you get that on there, it'll wrap those things tighter than a pig's ass. And the one day I spent a little too much time playing with, are you going to do it? I'm not going to do it. You know, if I do that again, all right, whatever, I'll just have crossed rows, whatever. You want to steer that way, you go ahead and you steer the way you want to. Now, oh, yeah, I'm all the way down. What am I talking about? But you can see that row cleaner just scooching them things to the side. It does its job. And that's all it's supposed to do. Just, hello, move me to the side. And then those disc openers just part the Red Sea there. And that's the end of that. And that is the end of that. And that's how it goes. You can see that one's working really good. Just line them up. Get them into where they belong. And we're good. It cuts right down. I'm putting it in about 2.25 inches deep now. I actually put my planting depth a little bit deeper. If I could put seed corn down 2.5 inches and not worry about it coming up, which planting through this green stuff, I don't worry about it coming up so much. I would put it at 2.5 inches, better than 2 inches. So I've split the difference at 2 1/4. So it's at 2 1/4. I don't like 1.5 because if you, 1.5 inches, because if you do go too fast, it'll raise up and then you're at 1 inch and then you got problems. My mother's calling, so I gotta answer that.